Hey guys, and welcome to this video on choosing your movie for English 3.2. So what is this video going to cover? Well, first off, we're going to go over why it's so important to choose a good movie. Next, we'll cover what makes a good movie. And after that, we'll go over how to choose a movie that's appropriate to write about for English 3.2. And finally, we'll give you some examples of good movies and bad movies so that you should have a really clear idea on what is an appropriate movie to write about. So first off, why is it so important to choose a good movie? Well, the movie that you choose needs to have sufficient depth in order to allow you to fully answer the questions that are on the exam paper. If you choose a good movie, your essay will have the potential to get any grade, achieved, merit, or excellence. If you choose a not so good movie, your grades might be limited because of your movie choice. So there are specific aspects in the movie which are needed for it to be good and considered to be appropriate for your Level 3 essay. So what makes a good movie? Well, a good movie has many varied and complex aspects. The more aspects that there are in your movie, the more flexibility you will have when it comes to writing your essay. Some of these aspects include complex characters, purposeful film techniques, and when we talk about film techniques, we're meaning things like lighting, camera angles, sound, etc. And also interesting, contrasting, or difficult settings, and this is where the movie is set. So in addition to these aspects, the film that you choose either needs to teach us something like an idea or a message, or make the audience feel something or have an emotional response. If our movie ticks these boxes, then it should be a good film for 3.2. Another important point is that it's probably a good idea to steer clear of any violent films, anything that's inappropriate, or any movie that comes with an R18 rating. These are generally not really appropriate to write essays about. So how do you choose a movie? Well, there's a few tips that we've come up with, and if you follow these, you should be able to choose an appropriate movie to write about. First off, you could look at our recommended list of movies. These are movies that are tried and true, and we know these have the ability to get top marks in English. You can also watch a bunch of movies and look out for the aspects, ideas, or emotions which arise from that movie. You can have a look at the following LearnCoach videos on analysing the aspect to make sure that the aspect is suitable to write about. You also need to make sure the movie is appropriate, so not violent or not too heavy themes. The other thing you can do is to do some research on Google. Often they'll have lists of movies which are really appropriate and have great aspects or themes running throughout them. This makes it appropriate to write about for English 3.2. So now let's look at some examples of good movies. So here we've written a list, and if you choose one of these, we know you've got the potential to get a really good grade. These movies are classics and are commonly written about for English essays. All of these movies have fantastic aspects, ideas and themes throughout, and mean that you will have heaps to write about when it comes to the exam. But remember, you don't have to choose one of these films. There are heaps of other good films to write about. So finally, let's have a look at some examples of bad movies. So these movies are either inappropriate, not deep enough, and won't give you enough to write about for English 3.2. You can do one of these movies if you really want, but there are other movies which will make it easier to write your English 3.2 essay. If you do choose one of these movies, you might find it a bit hard to get the themes, ideas, or aspects out of the movie and have enough things to write about. So now, hopefully you have a really good idea of how to choose an appropriate film for your English 3.2 essay. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.